Powered by Riverside FM.
Someone asked me the other day, who's under more pressure, do you think? Is it JJ McCarthy or is it KOC, Kevin O'Connell? And I had to pause a little bit and think about that. Both are going to be under a considerable amount of pressure just because it just comes with the job that they have. I mean, I don't think you can sit here and say, well, neither one of them is under pressure. But who is under more pressure? If you look at the KOC side, they've just coming off an offseason, really back-to-back off seasons where you can say the Minnesota Vikings and my boy Kwesi has done his job in terms of going through that competitive rebuild and now having two stellar classes in terms of free agents coming in. Kwesi's done his job. And now, on the defensive side of the ball, personnel-wise, you've just become significantly better. We've always been kind of weight-heavy on the offensive side of the ball, but we've added some additions there. And now we're improved on the offensive side of the ball as well. The trenches have been revamped. So when you think about it, KOC has everything that he needs to have another successful season. I think he surpassed expectations, guys. He surpassed expectations his first year with the Minnesota Vikings. I mean, you can't argue that. Coming off the Zimmer year where the team was just kind of lackluster, toxic environment, the Vikings just weren't the Minnesota Vikings under Zimmer's last year. In comes KOC, instantly wins 13 games. I don't think anybody saw that coming. KOC's second year, I think he gets a pass, right? Kirk Cousins goes down. When Kirk Cousins goes down, the Minnesota Vikings are playing their best football of that year, and many people think that if Kirk Cousins doesn't go down, he's an MVP candidate. Now, I don't know if I would go that far, but there are a lot of people that are saying that. And they're also saying that the Minnesota Vikings probably would have made the playoffs. I would buy that because they were playing some good football, had just destroyed a pretty good Green Bay Packers team. But things fell apart, carousel of quarterbacks. I don't think you can blame KOC for that season. I mean, if he did anything that season, he held that team together and didn't let the bottom fall out. I mean, they could have very well not won any more games after Kirk Cousins went down, but he brought in the Pastronaut. Then it was a Nick Mullins show, and then back to the Pastronaut. So it was just one of those things where you didn't have a solid quarterback in there. And we all know that if you don't have a quarterback in the NFL, you're just not going to win games. Last year, my goodness, Sam Darnold comes in. I remember so many people being upset when Sam Darnold came in. People saying, why do we want Sam Darnold? KOC made the decision to bring him in, saw something really good in him, and bing, bang, boom, 14 wins, 14-4 season. Yes, I know the last two games. Yes, I know we didn't make a run in the playoffs, but you can't argue the result, UP Nation. 14-4, I'll take it. Now, the one thing that was glaring is that we needed help with the pass rush up the middle, so we needed to revamp our defensive line. We needed to strengthen our offensive line up the middle. We did that, a.k.a. Ryan Kelly, Will Fries. So now KOC has more weapons. Everything is in place. And I know that there's still some question about the quarterback. Will he be ready? But that is a lot of pressure on KOC now. He has been successful with less in previous years. Now he is getting, this is the third year of KOC. Now he's getting his personnel in there, his guys in there. Pressure has it that he should be pretty good this year. The Minnesota Vikings should be pretty good this year. When you look at JJ McCarthy, I think no one should have unrealistic expectations of a rookie quarterback. Like, you just can't, can you? Like, you can't put so much weight on this kid's shoulder where you're just like, okay, it's Super Bowl or bust. Okay, you have to duplicate what Sam Darnold did last year in terms of wins and losses. Do you do that? Can we do that, UP Nation? Is that fair to JJ McCarthy? I think a realistic expectation is that JJ McCarthy should come in and be a pretty decent quarterback. I don't think our expectation should be that he should be lights out. I don't think the expectation should be that he should take us to the Super Bowl. But I think a realistic expectation is that he should look like a starting quarterback in this league. He's got a year under his belt, albeit he didn't play physically. But he's got a year under his belt, being in the building, knowing the terminology, studying the offense, knowing the personnel. So my expectation is, JJ McCarthy, you just can't be terrible. I don't have the expectations of a Super Bowl run, but you just can't be terrible. I think because KOC called him the franchise guy when he got hurt last year, I think the pressure comes from the fans of the Minnesota Vikings towards JJ McCarthy. Especially when you had a few weeks ago the whole Aaron Rodgers thing come in. Now that's going to put a little bit more pressure on him because there are portions of the Minnesota Viking faithful that wanted Aaron Rodgers to come in here and be the quarterback of the team. So I think there's going to be this thing where anytime JJ doesn't play well, you're going to hear about it from that pocket of fans. Anytime he throws an interception, you're going to hear from that pocket of fans. And also, Aaron Rodgers is still kind of out there just lingering. Everybody thought he was going to make some big announcement at the Pat McAfee event in Pennsylvania. That didn't happen. So Aaron Rodgers is just lurking. That puts pressure on JJ McCarthy. Now, the one thing I know about JJ McCarthy is that the kid does well under pressure. Just look at his track record. Check the young man's resume. Anytime there's any sort of pressure, JJ McCarthy comes through. And you remember what he said to Kevin O'Connell when they interviewed him at the Combine. He said, "Coach, I'll run through a brick wall for you." And that's the type of mentality that JJ McCarthy has. I think it's pressure on both individuals personally. But if I had to say, I think there's more pressure on JJ McCarthy just because he's the quarterback of the team. Just because you can argue that every position is set by the Minnesota Vikings pretty much. I know there's weaknesses in the secondary, but you brought some people in. You're probably going to draft another corner or another safety. Everything is set. Defensively, you got the mad scientist B-Flow. Everything is set in place. Addition, Jordan Mason. Everything is set. The only question mark is how good is JJ McCarthy going to be? Not how good is KOC going to be. I believe, regardless of if KOC has a good year or not, KOC is going to be back. He just signed a contract extension for the following year. If JJ McCarthy doesn't look good and the bottom falls out, his rookie year, what is the narrative or what is the talk about JJ McCarthy? So the question has to be, JJ McCarthy has the most pressure on him. But I think the kid is going to come through. For some reason, I'm just not worried about the kid. I'm just worried about the expectations of his first year. That's it. That's it. When I think about JJ McCarthy, just the unrealistic expectations of JJ McCarthy his first year. But I think long term, he is our franchise quarterback for the next 10 years. That's who JJ McCarthy is going to be. And I think the kid is going to be lights out. But if I had to answer the question, who has the most pressure between KOC and JJ McCarthy, man, it's got to be JJ. But JJ is going to handle that well. This has been Unconventional Playbook. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Please consider becoming a member. Those that become a member will be entered into a drawing to win a Minnesota Vikings Winter Warriors jersey. And as always, UP Nation. We will see you when we see you. Skol.